Good afternoon. We begin today with breaking news out of Washington. Of course, as we've been reporting all morning long, President Trump and First Lady Melania both testing positive overnight for the coronavirus. The president's positive test results coming after he and the First Lady were exposed to one of their closest aides, that being Hope Hicks, who tested positive for the virus on Thursday. We do thank you for joining us today, folks. I'm Casey Kantz. The president made that announcement that he and the First Lady tested positive via Twitter. That tweet today has already become the most liked and retweeted presidential tweet of all time. Natalie Brand has more details on this still developing situation. She's at the White House today.
The president has developed minor symptoms following his positive test for COVID-19. President Trump confirmed his diagnosis on Twitter overnight and said he and the First Lady are now in quarantine and beginning their recovery process. The president's announcement came after one of his closest aides, Hope Hicks, tested positive for the virus on Wednesday. She traveled with the president to Ohio and Minnesota this week. The president confirmed her positive test on Fox News last night while awaiting his own results.
I just went out for a test. They just do it. It'll come back later, I guess. And the First Lady also, because we spend a lot of time with Hope and others.
The White House Physician's Office is now conducting contact tracing, but it's still unclear how many people may have been exposed. Vice President Mike Pence's office announced he tested negative for COVID-19 this morning. The president's response to the coronavirus pandemic has been a key issue in the presidential race. His diagnosis takes him off the campaign trail for now, with just 32 days until Election Day. Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden tweeted that his thoughts and prayers are with the president and First Lady for a swift recovery.
I don't wear masks like him. Every time you see him, he's got a mask. He could be speaking 200 feet away from it. He shows up with the biggest mask I've ever seen.
Biden, who shared the debate stage with the president on Tuesday, is expected to be tested today, according to a source familiar with the campaign. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
We can tell you Vice President Biden does have a trip to Michigan scheduled for today, but that has been delayed while their campaign reassesses travel. Here at home, Governor Wolf began his news conference this morning by wishing the president and First Lady well wishes. Take a listen.
I just want to wish the President and the First Lady the best of health. As I think you all know, they both tested positive for COVID-19, and I just wish them both a speedy recovery. This can't be easy.
And more reaction continues to pour in today. Both United States senators for Pennsylvania responding to the news. Senator Pat Toomey tweeting this after learning the news. He says, quote, "Sending along best wishes to President Trump and First Lady Melania Trump on a full and speedy recovery," end quote. Those thoughts echoed by Democratic Senator Bob Casey, who stated, "COVID-19 is a serious illness that has impacted millions of American families. I wish President Trump and First Lady Melania Trump a speedy recovery following their positive test. I will keep them in my prayers." With the president showing symptoms, many now want to know what happens if he becomes too sick to perform his presidential tasks. Our Maggie Smoka talked with a professor of politics at Juniata College to get some answers. Maggie joins us today here in the studio. So Maggie, right now he can still work while in isolation, right? But I guess the question would be, what if that changes?
Yeah, and Casey, this is a question that a lot of people have. And if President Trump's symptoms were to worsen, there is a plan in place, and it's been used several times. It's all explained under the 25th Amendment. Many in shock this morning, waking up to the news that President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania have the coronavirus. The president is 74 years old, so according to the CDC, his age puts him at a higher risk of developing a severe COVID-19 related illness. So what happens if he becomes incapacitated and can't perform his presidential duties? According to the 25th Amendment, the president can sign a letter handing his power to Vice President Mike Pence. When the president feels he's healthy enough to resume his duties, he'll sign another letter.
So it's just really a matter of exchanging letters if the president feels as though they're going to be incapacitated.
Have we seen this happen before?
We've had 3 occasions before. One is when President Reagan had some cancerous polyps removed from his colon. And so he was under the knife, he was under anesthesia for about 8 hours. And then twice when George W. Bush had colonoscopies, in both cases he signed over the duties of the presidency to the Vice President, Dick Cheney in this case. and he was out for about 2 hours each time.
So it doesn't, really matter the amount of time, whether it's, an hour or, 8 hours or 8 days, you are able to hand off those duties then.
That's correct.
And if for some reason the president isn't able to sign off on his duties, there's a plan for that as well.
In an emergency, Section 4 of the 25th Amendment allows members of the cabinet and the vice president and other officials to certify that the president is unable to perform the duties of office. And so then the vice president becomes president if they all agree with whoever is asking for it.
We do know Vice President Pence tested negative for COVID-19, but if something were to happen to him, the power would then fall to the Speaker of the House. And Barlow tells us right now it's too early to tell how this might affect the campaign, but he does think that the October 15th debate is going to be postponed or canceled completely. Live in the studio, I'm Maggie Smolka.
From WTAJ, your weather authority, here's your weather now.
Well, this morning we saw some sunshine, then we saw clouds move in right around 10 o'clock for us this morning, especially for our western and northern counties. A live look outside behind me. Now those clouds have moved into Huntington County, the eastern part of our viewing area. Brought to us by our Shy Beaver Boat Center Skynet camera. And yeah, the clouds are quite thick, but we will see some sunshine for this afternoon. No rain to speak of at the moment. We do see some steadier rain out towards the eastern part of our state. There's those clouds over us. You can see a few showers forming for the western and northern part of our state. And again, we will see some scattered showers mainly west of I-99 for the western counties and northern counties for this afternoon. Temperature-wise, 52 right now in Altoona, Punxsutawney 47, Johnstown 44, Clearfield 48 degrees. Compared to yesterday, we're quite a bit cooler, 5 to 12 degrees cooler right now, 7 for Altoona, DuBois 11, and Johnstown 12 degrees cooler. Tomorrow, a decent day, the better day of the weekend, because Sunday, I do see some showers. I'll talk more about that coming up. All righty, let's take a look at the latest numbers of coronavirus cases here across the state, released just a short time ago from the Department of Health. And much like yesterday, 1,100 new cases reported again today. Statewide total has now gone over 161,000 since the pandemic began. Almost 8,200 Pennsylvanians have died. Of those infected, 82% have recovered. Let's look here locally, though, and you'll see some more concerning numbers. We'll begin in the north. Look at that. Center County up high again, as they are just under 100 cases reported today. 8 other cases come collectively from the other northern counties. In our southern counties, Cambria County for a second straight day reports 20-plus cases, 22 to be exact today. Another day in double digits for Blair County as they reported 13. Huntington County also sees 9 more cases today. Somerset County confirmed 6. Bedford reported 3. A federal appeals court has decided to temporarily restore crowd size restrictions across the state. This decision by the 3rd U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals comes after the ruling that the Wolf administration's size limit restrictions were unconstitutional. Now, the measure that came down yesterday only restores the restrictions while the administration fights to appeal that ruling. Under the governor's order, indoor gatherings again limited to 25 people, outdoor to 250. We did get word from Altoona today saying that they will have a limit tonight in their game with Hollidaysburg to 250 people max. They will refund anyone who bought pre-sale tickets. The PIAA also released a statement telling districts to consult with their solicitors to see how to move forward. Other headlines today: a Somerset County woman in custody after her 1-year-old daughter was found roaming the halls of a local motel unattended. 39-year-old Heather Keister and her 28-year-old boyfriend Christopher Kenny both facing charges after police found them both passed out at the Sure Stay Inn after using a controlled substance. The little girl is now in the custody of Keister's mother. Both Keister and Kenny are facing drug charges as well as child endangerment. In Blair County, a Tyrone man facing a slew of charges today after police say he stole over $57,000 from a local convenience store. This theft happened at the Tyrone convenience store on July 19th. The owner reported the money missing from his safe as well as a skills machine. Police say 45-year-old Daniel Fink was seen on surveillance video entering that back room where both were and then leaving a short time later, pulling his shirt down and also appearing to have something stuffed down his pants, according to police. think is facing various charges, including burglary and criminal trespass. Still to come today at noon, the latest unemployment numbers are in. We'll tell you what those show when WTAJ News at noon continues after this.